Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Saturday, July 31st, 2021, and I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I'm excited to be here to talk to you about the slate for Saturday night and Sunday morning for Olympic basketball. It's a two-game slate that will finish up pool play and set up next week's exciting medal round. So we are fired up to do this today and get after it, get ahead of the curve, and build these lineups that are going to take some stuff down, maybe even optimal. We're loving this two-gamer. So a couple of things. Let's get straight so we know where things are at. We are coming off a nice USA victory. They played very well to move on now to the medal round after losing that first game to France with 2 wins. So they are ready to roll. And the way it works for the Olympics, for as far as the medal round goes, there's been 3 groups of 12. And in those 3 groups, they play round robin, which they've played. And the top 2 teams from each group advance, and then the next 2 teams that have the best record, it's going to be 1 and 2, but they meet the criteria on the tiebreakers, including point differential, which comes into play. So as of right now, here's some things that we do know. Here are the 6 qualifiers that will be in to the medal round, and that's France and the USA, Australia and Italy, and Slovenia and Spain. So all 6 of them have been decided before these last 2 pool games are going to go. But the final 2 teams in are going to be 2 of these 3, the Czech Republic, Germany, and the winner of this game that we're going to talk about today, Argentina and Japan. And wouldn't that be something? Even if they lost, just for Japan to get into the medal round. They were the longest shot by quite a bit, even longer than the Iran team to medal. So pretty cool. It should make for a fun couple of games here on the last pool play day. First game we'll dive into real quick, though, as we're jumping in. If you can please take a second, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, click the little alert in the upper corner. Really important to do that because obviously with all of these crazy Olympic times, the time differences, our podcast post at different times. So that little alert button will let you know when there's a new one up. And, also the lock times are a little bit different. So definitely do that. And we really appreciate the thumbs up and the subscribe button. We're reaching some internal goals here that we're very excited about. If you're listening to this on audio, quick 5 stars. This is your last chance. Today's the day. Yeah, 5-star rating and a couple of words, whatever you want to say. If you do that on anywhere podcasts can be found, Spotify, YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, iHeart, Apple Podcast, iTunes, you name it. We're on all of those. But where you can put a 5-star and a comment, we have a drawing every month, and today's the last day of the month. So tomorrow the winner will be drawn for a full week of membership of Coach Talk All Access. So we'd love to have you join us there. So take a chance to get that winner and get that free week. You'll get the whole medal round week. We've got tons of baseball going on. And then the day after the Olympics end, the NBA Summer League starts. So, man, we're in high gear here for sure. Okay, we're going to jump into this, and we're going to go to game number 1, which is a game late this evening. The other game is early tomorrow morning, but it's the 2-game slate, final two pool play games. The first one is Japan and Argentina. And we know these 2 teams are 0-2, but like I say, they'll have a 2 of 3 chance if they can win this game to make it into that medal round. Argentina is a 10.5-point favorite. The over-under is 166.5. It is 11 points lower than the Slovenia-Spain game. So something to keep in mind there. And the Slovenia and Spain game is only a 3-point spread. So yes, this game has a little bit bigger, well, quite a bit bigger spread. I mean, 7.5 points is a lot, or 7 points, and 11 points higher on the over-under. So does that mean we don't want to stack as many guys from this game as we do the other? And I would say no, I think it's pretty even. And the reason being is Slovenia and Spain are both 2-0. They've already both locked up a position. So they're into the medal round. Now, this game strictly is for seeding. And, the question is, the fact that USA is 2-1 and not 3-0, it might not be advantageous to win. Most of these teams want to avoid USA until the finals for the gold medal game, if they can get there. So there's jockeying for position here, but nothing is determined yet. So, I don't know if winning or losing this Slovenia-Spain game is going to be that big of a deal. So I'm going to look at it from the option of, I want equal representation from both of these games, because I think this, obviously, it's an elimination game flat out for Japan-Argentina. So they're going to let their guys roll. And the Slovenia-Spain game, maybe a few guys get a little rest toward the end, knowing that it's not, a do or die game by any stretch. But that game is a little bit a higher total and a little bit closer, which you would think people would want to stay in there and play their guys a little bit longer. So I tell you all that to say, I'm going to use both games fairly equally. Maybe even an extra guy on the Japan-Argentina side. I think you'll see more people rostering Slovenia and Spain because they have all the big names with Luka and the Gasols and Hernan Gomez, etc. So maybe a slight edge if we can really pinpoint the right guys in this Japan-Argentina game. Okay, let's dive in here. Japan, here's what we've got to this point through 2 games. One thing that is amazing is you've got Hashimura at almost 37 minutes a game, which is number 1 in all of the Olympics. So, the minutes equal money at times. In this situation, it definitely helps that he's getting 37 minutes. He's been phenomenal, 27 points per game. The ancillaries could be better. But he's getting 4.5 rebounds, 2 assists, and half a steal, half a block. So definitely a guy that is in high consideration, along with his other NBA player, the only 2 from this Japanese team, and that's Watanabe. He is playing 36 minutes a game, so he's right behind Rui. You can make a huge case for both of these guys. Watanabe's definitely been, though, the second banana here to Hashimura. Watanabe's stats are solid: 18 points, 7.5 rebounds, 2.5 assists, 2.5 steals, which is really impressive, and 1 block. So there's nothing not to like about either one of these guys, except their price is high. But man, if you can get both of these guys in there, based on minutes, usage, output, I mean, they're 2 fantastic plays here. And I'm leaning that way. I'm leaning on Japan 1-2. It's their home. The fans aren't there, but they're still at home. And tremendous pride there. So I think they go all out. So I'm excited about those guys. There's 3 other guys that I'm looking at a bit. The first being Baba. He's at 25 minutes a game, but he's only averaging 5.5 points, 3 assists. So, not a guy that just dives out at you. Same thing with Tanaka. He's at 23 minutes a game, only 4 points, but he is getting 4 assists and, grabbing a block here and there. So possibly. Edwards has been a big disappointment, and he's been hurt. So I'm not going to go there. That's a little bit concerning. Tagashi's the other guy, 16 minutes. He is scoring 8 points a game. He can score it. And then after that, it's just a lot of bench players playing low minutes. So of all the teams in this tournament, I've been said it every game, they're the most top heavy with Hashimura and Watanabe and Watanabe. I always say it wrong, whatever. Either way, tomato, right? Watanabe, Watanabe. But those two guys just are heads above the rest of their teammates. And I'm going to try to get both of them in and just move on down the road and feel good about that exposure. All right, Argentina on the other side. Extremely disappointing 0-2 record for them. I don't know if you saw the end of that game. Capazzo was so frustrated, he literally ripped the jersey right down the middle a little bit, sort of like Luka did during the regular season this year. But, they're going to come out with passion because if they win this game, again, they have a very good opportunity to still make the medal round as one of the last teams in. So, they're going to come out with passion. They're going to come out with intensity. But, one problem here is we do have 3 guys in that sweet spot that Andrew and I have discussed all week, that 25 to 28, minute mark for anybody that's under 30, 25 to 29, whatever. But after that, there's a whole bunch of guys in that, do I play them, not play them, because they're 20, 19. And, that is a really close call. So let's look at the top minutes guys, and it's razor thin. Scola, Campazzo, and Deck have all played almost identical to the 10th of a minute here time-wise. So let's just say they're all 28 minutes per game, which is decent. But let's look at the numbers. Scola's been up and down in the 2 games, but he is averaging 18 points, but only 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and no steals. So not a ton of ancillary statistics for him. Campazzo is at 15.5, not shooting as great as he could, or we expected, only 25% from 3-point land. And he's got 5 rebounds per game somehow, which is amazing, but only 3.5 assists. But he does have 6 steals in the 2 games, 3 per game. So, he's extremely expensive. And that's the decision really is on Campazzo, which way to go. Deck has also been, a little disappointing in this second game. Really just came out great in the first game. Second game, just total step backwards. Very odd, but I'm really afraid to play him. His minutes went way down. He's averaging 9.5 points and 8 rebounds with 2 assists and a steal. So, I mean, the potential's there, but the question is, are the minutes going to be there? So he's not cheap, so I doubt I'm going to go there. There are 4 other guys I want to mention because they're playing somewhat of like a 7-man heavier minutes time, but, I'm not going to go much deeper than that. But Lapper Vitola is playing phenomenal, scoring the basketball. In his 23 minutes per game, he's at 17.5 points, which is very impressive. 3 assists, a rebound and a half. So he is in play at his price. Dalia also has shown signs of being decent. 21 minutes, only 4.5, but he is getting 6 rebounds and a couple of steals. I think he has some stocks potential. So a little bit of a stretch, but possibly. Brusino, who, I liked initially, but not getting quite enough run. 20 minutes a game, but not in my pool. Vidoza as well. Same thing. 19 minutes, just not quite there. Garino's been a disappointment at 14 minutes. Bellarmo at 11. So really for rosterable guys here, and again, my builds are mainly cash. plays in single entry. So I need some solid minutes and some good floor, but hopefully still a high enough ceiling. So, I think you can use either Scola, Campazzo, one or the other I really like to put in here. I think you need them. And I know it's going to be 2 Japanese and 1 Argentinian those 3 are going to be expensive, but I'm willing to spend that money, as I mentioned, in this game, because I do think it's going to be, fought down to the end because of that potential to get into the medal round. As far as a value guy on this team, I mean, I don't know. Laprovitola's come up in price, so I wouldn't consider really him value, but he's the 3rd guy with Scola and Campazzo to me that I'd feel most comfortable with rostering. So I'll put him in that mix. But after that, I don't see like that 20-minute value guy unless you want to try D'Elia. He'd be the only possible opportunity in this game for me in value. So that's where I stand in that one. And then before we go to the second one, real quickly, if DFSCoachTalk.com, if you want to jump in, great time to jump in here on the weekend. Just go in there. We have multiple opportunities to join as a member for even as little as a 3-day pass for $10. We have a summer special that's from now and all the way until September 7th. Which is only $88. It's our best deal of the year, and it includes everything. When you join Coach Talk, you get everything we have. It's full access. We'll have multiple podcasts, a lot of information in here, ownership, and we'll look at projections, and we'll go through and create, build lineups together, have discussions in our wonderful Discord with our great members. And then we release full lineups on FanDuel and Yahoo, and either a coach's clipboard, which gives you highlighted players with a bunch of other players that you can choose from, or we'll do a core group of cash and GPP plays for DraftKings. So those are, you're going to get a lot of information. And again, you get everything that we have. We do baseball, every slate, every game. We're all over it. Tons of games every day. So MLB, and we'll also be doing some short MLB podcasts, summing up some information days in August. So that's coming. Then, of course, after this Olympic basketball next week, followed by every single day games in the NBA Summer League. There's some good contests you can get in, especially on DraftKings. And then, we also have golf always going on. We do a weekly podcast, and we provide those lineups on Wednesday nights for the full tournament and Friday nights for weekend only, which is still really great as well. So all of that, just go to dfscoachtalk.com and you can follow it from there. All right, game 2. We've got Slovenia and Spain, which should be a blast to watch, man. These 2 teams are playing so well. And a shocking spread to me. I could not believe it. I assumed Spain would be the favorite because they're a higher ranked team nationally. They have all that, internationally, I should say, and they have all of that experience. But it's Slovenia that's -3 in this game. Again, the over-under is 177.5. So Luka Power and some of these other guys have really stepped up as well. Let's talk about Slovenia first. Obviously, Luka, and that's the big decision. Anytime he's on the slate right now, his price is extremely high, but his production is extremely good. So what you have to ask yourself, and what I'm determining, and it's a tough one, but do you get the extended full-blown minutes with Luka in a game that they've already qualified to be in the medal round? That's what we have to see. Luka's not in that 36, 37-minute range like Watanabe and Hashimura, Luka's at 28 minutes a game, which is still good. That's that sweet spot we talked about. But my goodness, he's 36.5 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 6 assists per game, 1 steal per game, and 2.5 blocks. So good Lord. I mean, he is just outrageous. He's shooting 60% from the field overall, 37% from 3, and 82% from 2. And he's even hitting his foul shots. He's 77%. So, I mean, he's playing at another level right now, and he is absolutely rosterable and should be in most cash games, but there has to be a give and take here. If you're going to use a Campazzo or a Skoll or one of the big players from Argentina and try to get in the 2 Japanese NBA players and still have something for this, the Spaniards at least that you're going to get points from, I don't know if Luka fits. You're going to have to do that figuring out. So I know it sounds crazy, but I'm not saying to fade Luka. But there is a path, I think, to having a takedown lineup without Luka in it. Now, if you do play Luka, which again, it's probably recommended, then something has to give. One of the Japanese players isn't going to have to play. We're going to have to go lower in for the Argentina or Spain team. So that's the $1 million decision. I have not made that final decision. I may play what I'm leaning towards right now is entering 2 lineups. Now, again, everything we do here at Coach Talk, we hand build every lineup. We walk through it. We game script it. And we feel that's the strongest way to attack these cash and single entry games. It's a different animal if you're max entering 150 and using an optimizer and all of that stuff. But we're talking about getting down and dirty, making the lineup. I usually roll with 1, but today what I'm saying is I think I'm going to roll with 2. I'm going to have 1 lineup without Luka and those other guys I mentioned in it, and then 1 with Luka, and then have to pay down in a few of those spots. And more than likely, either Hashimura or Watanabe would be eliminated. So I think, gearing around for those 2 strategies, I think, are really strong. So Luka, awesome. All right, the other guys, which is really nice, they have really, I'd say, 5 guys, and I guess that's why they're the favorite. There's 5 other guys that I wouldn't feel uncomfortable with rostering. You have Toby, the big man that plays real well with Luka. He's at 27.5 minutes, only 8.5 points, but he is grabbing 12.5 rebounds, which I believe is right up there with Hadidi as 1-2 in rebounding for the Olympics. And his plus minus has been phenomenal. So he's playing well. Canchar has been Chanchar, I believe it's pronounced. He's been terrific. He's an NBA player as well. 26 minutes, real steady, 14 points, 4 rebounds, an assist and a half, a steal a game. Nothing, to blow the doors off, but he's been very steady and playing a really good role for this team. Another guy is Blazic. We've, tinkered with playing him. He's getting 25 minutes, but he's only at 6.5 points, 4.5 rebounds. But he has potential, and he's, if he gets a few extra minutes, could be a little dangerous. Prepelic has also really been scorching the hoop, shooting 44% from 3 and 89% from the foul line. He's averaging 17 points per game in only 21 minutes. So maybe he gets a little push forward. And then the other guy that really has stepped up, and I'm looking possibly to roster him here, is Dragic's little brother, Zoran Dragic, who has really paved a way for himself in this Olympics. It's amazing how he's aged. I talked about this, but I get a kick out of it. He looks just like Goran. He's got this, it's identical. It's like almost like a twin. But Zoran has been good. He's 15.5 points per game, 4 rebounds, an assist, half a steal, half a block, but he's done a nice job, shot the ball better than was expected, and certainly has a potential to make the lineup as well. So they're a talented team. They go, I would say 7 deep actually, with real strong competitors. So you can get the Luka buy up, you can buy down on this team, and you can go value. So I do think you have to have some exposure to this team, but I'm not going to overpay for multiple high-priced guys. And then after that, I don't think the bench really is worth mentioning in on a 2-game slate like this. All right, the last game, the Spaniards. I would assume they're going to come in a little ticked off that they're underdogs here. It's a great thing to play off of if you're the coach. Lack of respect of your team that really was one of the favorites or second favorite to the U.S. coming in. Couple of options here. This is interesting. The problem is very similar. We've talked about this several times. There were 2 or 3 teams in the Olympics that were somewhat of a nightmare for DFS. We know Nigeria and some of these other teams, and Spain falls in that. And what that is that they're playing a deep bench, and they're playing double-digit minutes. Get this, for 11 guys. So, man, is that difficult. Guess how many guys on this Spaniard team fit into that sweet spot that we're aiming for, 25 to 29 minutes? Go ahead, make your guess. Goose egg, zilch, nobody. That's how well they're playing. They're 2-0, and they're using everybody. And minutes are broken up like this. Let me give you those first, and then we'll talk about who we think could go in or out. But no one would have guessed this. Abrinas is leading the Spaniards at 24 minutes a game. Rubio, 23. Claver, 23. Fernandez, 22. Marc Gasol, 20. Sergio Llull, 19. Sergio Rodriguez, 17. Pau Gasol, 15. Abalde, 13. Garuba, 11.6. And Hernan Gomez at 11. So you've got all those guys playing, double-digit minutes, chipping into each other's output. So where do we go? Abrinas is okay, but only 7 points, 2.5 rebounds. I know he's cheap and the minutes are there, but he does not seem like he's playing a big role offensively. Defensively, he's doing fine. But, that doesn't always turn over to strong DFS stats. The best player for sure for Spain in this Olympics has been Ricky Rubio. Very, very expensive, though. At 23 minutes a game, a hard pill to swallow. But what is he getting done in that 23 minutes? How about 23 points? I believe my math isn't great, but I think that's about a point a minute. And on top of that, 3.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, a half a steal a game. I mean, he's getting it done. But it's that whole dilemma. Can you fit him into a lineup if you sit Luka and build that other lineup we were talking about? I think you can. Certainly, I doubt it. If you're playing Luka, it's not going to work very well. So that's that give and take with Rubio, but it's hard not to have exposure to him. Claver, he's been steady in his minutes, 11 points, 5.5 rebounds, just nothing to write home about, but not bad. Same thing with Rudy Fernandez. He's been a little disappointing, though. He's only shooting 33% from the field, only 4 points per game. He does get 3.5 rebounds and an assist, so he can contribute, and he is experienced, but not sure I want to go there. Marc Gasol at 20 minutes a game, 7 points, only 3.5 rebounds, but he does get 4.5 assists, which is a plus. He will, get some stats across the board, but under 20 minutes. Then, if you want to go with any of these guys, you've got, like I said, all in that pool. Llull's at 7.5 points per game. Rodriguez, same thing. Powell off the bench in limited minutes. Somehow in 15 minutes a game, he's getting 9 points and 6 rebounds. He leads the Spaniards in rebounding. So, hey, if they give Powell 20 minutes, maybe he is a sneaky good play, but the pricing is a concern. So that, that's difficult. After that, it's just really, no one worth it to put in there. So it's tricky. I mean, it's easy to recommend all the pay up guys, but you've got to find value in different spots. And I think the Spaniards are really a nice team to find some of that level and even that mid-level value, because they are pretty guaranteed of minutes. These guys getting 20, I expect to continue to get right around 20. And that's, in this world of Olympic basketball on DraftKings, if you have 3 or 4 fire symbols and maybe 2 snowflakes or even 3, you still can take stuff down. That's how difficult the Olympics have been for DFS. So, if you get that mid-level guy that's playing 20 minutes that only gets you 18 DFS points and it becomes a snowflake on your card, that's still okay. I mean, it can still be done. So I would definitely look at some of these mid-range guys. So that is it. That wraps it up. That should give you a good look at these final 2 games. And then we're extremely excited because then we have a day off tomorrow for rest for the Olympic basketball. And then it gets real. That next day, the day after tomorrow, on Monday, I'll tell you what, those are the 4 most intense basketball games. It's like watching a game 7 of an NBA Finals because it's the medal round. It's single elimination. You lose, you go home. So Monday's 4 games are going to be phenomenal. Andrew and I will do a really good in-depth podcast that will be out Monday morning. So you'll have all day to look at it. And then Tuesday's off. And then the next round is Wednesday, where the 4 teams will actually play for medal positioning. So really exciting, good stuff, a great week of basketball. Don't miss it, record it, do whatever, you can check it out. Also on the FIBA station, go to FIBA.com/Olympic basketball. You can go to the Peacock network if you want to watch the USA games. So a lot of opportunities to catch some good basketball. So that is it, my friends. I really hope that this helps you take some stuff down. I've been saying it all along, and I still believe it very strongly. I think that we are getting super duper close to big takedown and optimal lineup. And, now that we've got 2 games for everybody under our belt for this round, I feel great about it. And then going into that on Monday, I mean, it's Load Up City Monday. I can't wait for that as well. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. For Andrew Hansen, our entire DFS Coach Talk team, I am Joe Sarvati. We'll look to catch you again on Monday when we look to crush it in DFS.